Hey everyone, Greg with DRIFTERJOURNEY. Today we're going to be talking to you about power solutions for travel, and in particular this homemade battery setup slash power station, if you will, that we made for our last trip. So we just were out for a little over a month. We went down the whole Baja Peninsula and brought this along with a power station. So I'm going to go over how this all worked, why we did it, and why we have both, and what might be the positives for either one. We'll put links for all the stuff down in the description. They're affiliate links that do help support the channel a little bit. So if you do purchase any of it, purchase through there. It helps us out. So yeah, the power station. I took the strap off it so we can get into it easier. But this is a NOCO battery box. This is the BG27. And inside of it, we have a Lifetime 100 amp hour lithium battery. So what I did here is I got a smaller battery that goes into a bigger box so that I could fit it. As you can see, I did some random foam stuffing to hold everything in place once I had it all assembled. And on the outside of it, we have some Anderson connectors. We have USB-C, there's dual C's on that, and A. I have a 12 volt, another USB, another 12 volt cigarette style, and then a big Anderson to recharge the battery. So what I did, basically, I got a Blue Seas system fuse block and run everything. I checked the wire size calculator. I always go a little bit bigger than it suggests. And then I ran, a positive to each item and then a negative to the ground block on the fuse block here. And then I fused them all individually with 10 amp for these because I'm not running anything big on it. So that should be more than sufficient. So yeah, what we had there is every circuit, and then over here you got your black negative going to the battery, and then on the positive side we got it a little bit different because we go to a master on-off switch. So it goes from the battery positive into the on-off switch, and then off the on-off switch into a, I believe this was a 60 amp, yeah, it's a 60 amp fuse, which then goes to the positive. And then as you can see, there's two more small ones. So a little red here and a little black here. Those go to this Anderson. That's how I'm charging it. So that's just direct. It goes with this Lifetime charger. So I'll talk about that more in a little bit. But yeah, so basically what I got here is a 100 amp hour lithium battery power station, if you will, that has all the connections that I need. So we're in a Tune outdoor camper, which had the fan and the heater both come with an Anderson connector, which you can get adapters, but we were doing the adapters, and on our biggest power station that we had around here, it still doesn't have enough USB-Cs or 12 volts to be able to run everything that we have. So we have fridge, fan, lights, heater, and we couldn't do all those. And then we couldn't do phones and all that at the same time. So that's why I built the box. I did not put a charge controller in it to be able to charge it directly from solar because one, I was trying to keep the cost a little bit down, and I'm just doing pass-through power. So we have a 400 watt solar panel for this one that we charge into it. And basically on the trip, if this thing was at 100%, then I could pass through power with that charger off of the AC and charge it on that. So I would just drain this down a little bit during the morning when we have full sun, recharge this, and we're good to go. And between the two, it's like 200 amp hours of battery basically, which if you don't run anything crazy, that's a ton of power. So we were just running a Starlink It's the mini, so it only runs like 20-ish watts. And then our fridge is the biggest draw. So as long as we didn't have a cloudy day, multiple days in a row, we were good. We could actually run all of our stuff off of this one for probably 3 days. So this was just a backup and ease of plugging everything in. So yeah, the reason, if you did do a solar charge controller on this and put solar direct into it, this is like, I think this thing's like 60 pounds. And over here we got like 25 maybe. So you're a lot lighter if you build it yourself. You can get, technically it's got more battery capacity. This is 1280 watt hours, whereas this one is 1152, so pretty close. And then you get to put your own plugs on it. So obviously it requires more effort to figure it all out. Really isn't that difficult, but then you get a custom box. So a couple things we could do with this one. I can charge it through this. This actually was a failure on my part. This is the 20 amp 14.6, so it pulls 392 watts. Our truck has a 400 watt inverter in the bed of it. So I was hoping I could just plug this in and charge it. It won't actually run this, so that was a bummer. But if you get one of the new ones, everybody's coming out with them right now, a charger that hooks to your alternator, you can set the voltage and whatnot on some of them. You'd be able to charge this while you're driving. If I got a smaller one, I think I could charge it while I was driving. It would just take longer. So you might be able to just go with something like this if it has enough power. This is what we're going to take on our short trips, just this, and be able to hopefully function just fine for multiple days, especially once I figure out how to get it charging while I'm driving. So, what power station? This is an all powers power station. By the way, all of this, except for everything in the box, was sent at no charge at one point, because we've been testing them for a while. This is the biggest power station we have. It's been good, but like I said, any power station has its limitations with how many outlets. So you can get all different sizes of these days from all kinds of companies and all different price points. But just look into them and see if they have what you need. This one was the closest. It's been good for us. With the adapters, we can run almost everything at the same time, but we just added the heater to the truck, so that threw another one in there and made it more difficult. So yeah, that is that. Another thing, they are coming out with, I don't have any of them, but mini versions of these lithium batteries now. So the reason I built this one with this setup is because I had batteries from the past laying around the house. So the minis can actually go in a Harbor Freight, like a dry box. Smaller, it's got a handle on it, would be lighter. Pretty cool. I couldn't get a mini battery in time to do that build, so I don't have one, but this worked great. And what else? Oh, this Dr. Prepare battery, if you don't need much, it's kind of neat. It's got this little front whatever you want to call it, just adapter. So it has, this is an Anderson input, so it doesn't actually Anderson output, which would have been cool. But it's got a couple USBs and a USB-C and a cigarette lighter style. So if you only need a couple plugs, this basically built a mini little power station ready to go just like that. So check them out if you're interested. But we've had good luck with the lifetime stuff too. And like I said, with this charger, you're good to go for a while. So if you have any questions, leave them below. And one other thing I want to add here, if anybody wants to comment on it. So I've been looking, and I built this from some of the other videos we saw online, and a lot of people are putting this 60 amp fuse here. I don't know why it needs to be there personally. Frankly, I would think, and I could be wrong, so if you comment and correct me, if I'm running this direct to here and that goes through into my fuse block, I'm fused all over here. So I'm not sure where this 60 master fuse comes into this whatsoever. But it wasn't that expensive, and I was rushing the build, so I threw it in there just in case. But I'm not sure if it needs to be there. So leave some comments, questions, and have fun building a box, because it's a fun little project. Of course, it took longer than I expected, but you know, a little couple hours of tedious wiring, and you might have something cool. And yeah, so the last thing I was going to show you, if I flip it on, I did buy the USB-Cs that show you your voltage, so you can keep an eye on the battery level, and then they actually have a button in them to shut them off if you don't want to keep them both going. So that was my easy way of knowing what my battery level is and when I need to charge it. So yeah, thanks for watching. We will leave links below.